Sometimes the people who respect you the most will never say it out loud. No compliments, no applause, no dramatic praise, just small behaviors that reveal something powerful. Because real respect is usually silent, and once you understand the psychology behind it, you start seeing people differently. Most people think respect is obvious, but in reality, people reveal respect through attention, through body language, through emotional reactions, in ways most people completely miss. And the final sign on this list? It changes the way you understand human behavior forever. 1. People become quieter when you speak. Have you ever noticed this? A room is loud, everyone's talking over each other. Then you start speaking. And suddenly people stop interrupting. They listen. Not because you demanded attention, but because your presence already carries weight. Psychologically, people become quieter around those they subconsciously value because respect creates focus, and focus creates silence. The louder someone tries to be heard, the less people usually listen. But calm authority, that pulls people in naturally. Respect doesn't beg for attention, it changes the room without trying. 2. They remember small details about you. Most people barely remember what others say, but someone who secretly respects you remembers the little things, a sentence you said weeks ago, your opinion on something random, a small habit nobody else notices. Why? Because respect increases attention, and attention strengthens memory. People naturally remember those they admire emotionally or psychologically. Most people completely miss this. But when someone remembers details about you, it often means you matter more to them than they admit. People forget information, but remember impact. 3. They watch your reactions carefully. This one is subtle but incredibly powerful. You say something unexpected happens, and before reacting, they look at you first, not consciously, instinctively, because your reaction helps shape theirs. This happens in social groups all the time. The most respected person in the room often becomes the emotional reference point. People study their body language, their tone, their calmness, and this reveals something deeper than admiration. It reveals influence. The moment people watch your reactions, your presence affects the room. 4. They act differently around you. You'll notice it slowly. Someone who's loud around everyone else becomes more controlled around you, more careful with their words, more aware of how they come across. Why? Because respect creates self-awareness. When people value your opinion psychologically, they naturally adjust their behavior in your presence, not out of fear, but because your perception matters to them. And this is where it gets interesting. The more emotionally disciplined you are, the more powerful this effect becomes. People become more intentional around those they secretly respect. 5. They seek your approval without saying it. This sign is hidden in plain sight. Someone finishes talking, then quickly looks at your face, waiting, not for permission but for validation, a nod, a reaction, any sign that you approve. And the psychology behind this is deep. Human beings naturally seek approval from people they see as socially valuable, especially calm, emotionally grounded people, which is why confidence is so powerful. Not loud confidence, quiet confidence, the kind that never needs to prove itself. The people who respect you most often reveal it through subtle approval seeking. 6. Your calmness changes their behavior. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy, but watch what happens during tension, an argument, pressure, awkward silence. Most people react emotionally, but if you stay composed, something strange happens. Others begin calming down too, because emotional control signals strength. In psychology, calm behavior during stress is associated with leadership, confidence, and social stability. That's why emotionally reactive people often lose respect quickly, while calm people gain it silently, and this reveals something powerful. People trust those who remain steady under pressure. Calmness is one of the loudest forms of confidence. 7. They mention your name when you're not around. This is the strongest sign of all, because respect that only exists in front of you may not be real. But when people mention your name in conversations you're not part of, that means your presence stayed in their mind after you left. And psychologically, that's powerful. People talk about those who leave emotional impressions, those who stand out, those who feel important, not because they were loud, but because they carried something rare: presence. And most people spend their entire lives chasing attention without realizing that true respect is earned in silence. Here's the truth: respect is rarely obvious. People won't always compliment you, they won't always admit what they feel, but their behavior always reveals it. The attention they give you, the way they react around you, the way they remember you after you leave. That's where real respect lives. In silence, in observation. In human behavior, most people never notice. If you've noticed these signs before, you're already starting to understand people differently. And once you understand psychology, you start seeing the hidden patterns behind confidence, respect, and human behavior everywhere. Subscribe now for more videos on psychology, body language, social dynamics, confidence, and dark psychology. Because the people who understand human behavior always move differently,